What's up, guys? We are here with another day of Death Stranding on Death Stranding week. We have a couple of more days to get through this week, chip away at some of the story. Um, and if you've been paying attention to my channel, you guys know that I broke 100K views overall on the channel, which is really good progress. I have a lot of AEW footage that is doing really well. Everybody should go ahead and go check those out. Um, so yeah, we're just doing some Death Stranding this week, chipping away as we get closer to Death Stranding 2. I don't foresee myself completing Death Stranding 2 or Death Stranding 2, Death Stranding 1 by the time that we get there.
Always like the quiet.
So we're gonna see how this goes. We're gonna see how this goes. I mainly am just now not trying to play too long, I guess, just because I understand if people can't watch just because a lot of the game if there's no gameplay there and you're not really invested in the game, it definitely makes for an interesting experience. I'll say that much, kids. All right, let's go ahead and get a lay of this land right now. Oh my lord. Yeah, there's a lot of BTs in this area. Alright, time to relax.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you can, Sam.
Okay, so that's a part of the game that I've never encountered before. Alright. It is what it is. There's a lot of like resting moments in this game just because you are just delivering packages for the most part. It's a Kojima game, so there's going to be a lot of like war allegories and stuff about what it means to be human and all that type of stuff. Alright, so now we have to go back to Lake Knot City. Go grab that. Make the delivery. And here we go. You had to know it was coming. You had to know just because I said it out loud. For people not in the know, basically what's going to happen right now is the environment in Death Stranding has just been destroyed. It's been demolished. So the environment is very, very volatile. So what's happening right now is this rain called timefall, where, in the name it should explain what happens. Basically, anytime the droplets land on something, it ages it. So, with that in mind, it already makes the environment pretty unlivable. There can be no, plant life whatsoever. And then what follows after timefall are these things called BTs, which BT stands for Beach Thing. And yeah, they're basically like ghosts that can attack you and drag you to various level of boss fights. So, with all that in mind, you guys are probably about to see me run from BTs, or I'm going to be in a boss fight, one of the two. Alright, now these things are cryptobiotes, which are, I guess, the only proteins that are in Death Stranding, because as I said, the environment is pretty much unlivable. You don't encounter too many people other than people that are doing similar to what you're doing, which is basically just delivering packages. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Everybody's a hermit, everybody's stuck inside. Oh man, I still have so long to go. Let's go ahead and keep trucking along. So I do have more AEW clips on the way, guys. I recorded a lot of footage, but as I've seen, I bet that you guys would prefer if I like did one or two a day along with my gameplay, just because I don't want to bombard anyone's feed. That's that's kind of a given right there, because I have definitely been somebody who is unsubscribed from somebody because they have too many uploads in a single day. So definitely, gameplay video, clip from the gameplay, and then whatever wrestling clips I happen to have in the chamber. Okay, sweet. So I avoided the time fall, I avoided the BTs. We're making good progress here, folks. And you're also trying to reconnect the United States in this game. This game was like perfect when everybody was like locked down, so it definitely kind of fits that itch. But I've known a couple of people that definitely haven't invested much into Death Stranding, which I totally get. It's a very confusing game to try to explain, even more so for somebody who plays it. And yeah, we have the Death Stranding 2 pre-order stream upon us. Death Stranding 2 less than a month away. Since I pre-ordered it, I'm going to be getting it, I believe, 3 days early. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm going to try to chip away from this as much as I can. But this is a long game. This is a long game, and it's a massive game, too. Alright. And yes, this is a game that you also have to worry about your balance. Because you're just carrying, like, as you can see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, 4 packages on my backpack. Alright, let's go ahead and see if we can get this damn cargo. And see what this has in store for us. Alright, I got Power Skeleton on, have the Rogue started building. No, they have not. Okay. Oh man, yeah, I have to go all the way around. It's never easy for me. Alright. So I'm gonna go in. Do I have access to vehicles yet? No, I do not. Dang, that's the goal next, is just to get vehicles, because that's gonna save me like so much time.
Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges.
Thank you, Sam Porter Bridges. I am now in the building.
Proceed to distribution center.
Alright. Alright, Lake Knot City, here we come. On my way to Lake Knot City. Go ahead and pick up this cargo so I can do this guy's stuff, so I can get these people on my side. Alright, deliver lost cargo. Alright, claim cargo. No, not. Alright. We're gonna see how this goes. If I can't find the dude's stuff.
Have a pleasant journey.
Alright, let's go ahead and see.
All clear.
There's
Welcome, Sam Porter Bridges. Your work is greatly
Alright, we'll go rest in the private room, see what's going on.
Good morning, Sam. Blood collection complete. Thank you for your generosity.
I don't understand. You know what, I'll just go to this dude's place and then I'll figure it out. I bet it's probably something I left in the other map. Let's see how this goes.
Good morning, Sam. Have a pleasant journey. Weapons restrictions
Alright,
lifted.
we're running. We're gonna have to climb a mountain. Let me go and upgrade some stuff. Alright, so we're making the journey forward. So yeah, I went to AEW last Wednesday, and it was a fantastic experience. I definitely think I would go again. You know, I know that there's going to be a lot of there's a lot of tribalism with wrestling right now, where everybody can't just just wrestling as a whole. It has to be one side or the other. And it's probably very naive of me, but I just wish that that wasn't the case. Because I haven't watched AEW in probably months up until recently, and I had fun. It was a good experience. There were a lot of good matches. Even wrestlers I didn't know anything about, I think, made for a good experience. And I think going to a wrestling event is like a better determining factor than like watching it, because if you're watching it, there's like so many opportunities for people to just get bored, look at their phone, just kind of have it in the background. But I thought it was a good time. I definitely, like I said, think I would go again. We don't get a lot of wrestling down here in New Mexico, so really any new wrestling that comes by or comes through, and even in AEW's case, come down to film an episode, like, that is unheard of. I think the last time WWE, or even just wrestling as a whole, was here filming like a TV show for television was, I think it was a SmackDown in 2003, when Dawn Marie and Al Wilson got married. And that's kind of been it. It's only been like house shows or live events. TNA has never come here as far as I know. And that's pretty much it. We have been getting a lot more indie wrestling, I've noticed. I usually go see this company called EDW, Extreme Dwarfinator's Wrestling. It's a federation of little folks, and they work it like an indie show. It's hardest working little men in the sport right now. But shout outs to Dwarfinators, they're awesome. I actually was able to go see JCW earlier this year, and if you know anything about me, I was definitely really excited for that, because again, JCW has never come here, especially with ICP. I wasn't able to see Violent J or Ouija Mac, but I was able to see the wrestling. They filmed 2 episodes here. I was not able to see myself, unfortunately, but it was still a good experience. And then earlier this month, I saw the local indie wrestling that has now been backed by the National Wrestling Alliance. Shout out to Billy Corgan. That's a big deal. New Mexico is now an NWA territory, so we got the backing, we got the highs. Fed is on the rise. It's called Duke City Championship Wrestling. It was a good environment, good event. Probably best seats I've ever gotten at a wrestling event, bar none. Because I was seated right by the entrance ramp. If you will keep an eye out on my socials, I'll be posting pretty much every screen grab that me and my pops are at. Because we are so hard to miss. Like, we're in like 60% of all the footage I've seen thus far. So you'll get to see me, get to see my Jay Briscoe shirt, all that. Great environment. I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. We're going to see how it goes. And then with AEW, I got seated camera side, but I wasn't seen on camera. Take some, you win some, you lose some, you live to see another wrestling show. So we've seen that. And yeah, man, it was awesome. Great wrestling events, great seats. Everything was pretty affordable as far as tickets wise, especially in AEW's case, because I really appreciate these wrestling shows that are pumping out stuff all in one go. Like, especially and we're gonna see how it goes. They're pumping out a lot. Like AEW, that was a lot of wrestling. Like, that was pretty much like 5 hours worth of wrestling. And I love wrestling. It's pretty well documented. I have an on again, off again fascination with wrestling. but sitting 5 hours for anything is definitely a tall ask, I would say. But I was able to see quite a few names. I almost cried seeing Jay Lethal. I lost my voice when Adam Cole came out because I didn't know he was going to be doing commentary for Collision. The only thing I wish I would have stuck around for is I wish I would have stuck around for Speedball's match because I'd be able to see Okada in person. But you know, hey, it happens. We're adults. We have to manage our time. It's a lot to balance sometimes as you get older. If you're going to like events, like you really have to like plan for shit. All right, let's see. Okay, so I'll have to figure this one out. All right, guys. So with that in mind, I go ahead and get a lay of the land, check everything out, and then probably cut this one to a close. Definitely stay tuned for, I believe it'll be day 5 or 6 of Death Stranding week. We got a lot more stuff on the way. We got more AEW. You know the vibes. Be sure to like and subscribe. Ring that motherfucking bell. Share my stuff. You know, spread the word. I'm gonna try to do premieres of my gameplay on my days off, which will usually be Thursday and Friday. Maybe Saturday because I do a short day that day. So definitely stay tuned. AEW stuff. I still have to upload parts of Collision. I only made it about halfway through, but I still got a lot of footage. So yeah, with that in mind, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for checking out the videos. Thanks for the likes, shares, subs, whole nine. Thanks for the 100K views. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and call it quits, guys. You have a great rest of your day.
Oh, I was about to drop. All right, time to go.